Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dani and welcome to a new video. So today we are back with our first perfume review of the year, and this one is an exciting one. So back in September of last year, Hermes released a new fragrance called Barenia, and I was able to get my hands on it during the holidays, and after sampling it, I have a lot to tell you guys. So first, here is the packaging. They kept it very simple, very classic, which I think is pretty in line with Hermes and the brand itself. I did get the biggest bottle, the 3.4 ounce. I definitely could have gotten the 2 ounce just because I have a lot of fragrances as it stands, but I do like this packaging. It's very simple, very crisp, silver detailing, although I would have preferred gold, but that's just my personal preference. And it just has, you know, the small logo right there at the bottom. Very classy, very demure. So according to the Hermes website, this fragrance is supposed to be a rare and unforgettable fragrance. It's a skin perfume bringing together strength and softness. It expresses an instinctive, captivating facets of a woman, an unstoppable woman, blending exhilarating butterfly lily with the delicacy of miracle berry and enveloping it in oak wood and an intense patchouli. Barenia is an exclusive, stirring and surprising fragrance with a sensuous texture. Just to humanize and make those words make a little bit more sense, this is essentially supposed to be a warm florals fragrance. If you know me, you know I am a warm florals lover. Anything warm florals, I need it, I have it. And for the most part, I'll probably love it. What attracted me to this specifically were the key ingredients. So as they mentioned, there's butterfly lily, there's miracle berry, there's oak, and there's patchouli. Now, for me personally, I am a sucker for patchouli. If a fragrance has patchouli in it, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to love it. So that is exactly why I had to get my hands on it. But let's actually get into this fragrance. When I first smelled it at the Hermes store, I was taken aback because I first heard about this fragrance online before going to the Hermes store and trying it out. Now, when I smelled it for the first time, I was literally taken aback. Despite the fact that there's so many warm floral fragrances on the market, this one smells unlike anything I've ever smelled before. With an initial sniff and spray of this fragrance, to me, you almost get like a marshmallowy smell. The butterfly lily and the patchouli hit you at once to give that warmth and that sweetness. But you can definitely smell the oak mixed in there as well, which balances everything nicely. So that first spray is definitely more sweet, okay? Now, what you'll notice is as this dries down, specifically for me, I noticed that this becomes a little less sweet and more peppery / woodsy, which I think is attributed to the oak in it. I personally like that because I don't like my fragrances to be overly sweet. And one of the reasons that I was a bit taken aback by this was because although it is a pretty sweet fragrance, you do still get that balance of the muskiness. But initially that sweetness does kind of shock you, but as it dries down, you realize that, oh, okay, I can definitely wear this around with no issues. And the reason for me why the sweetness surprised me was because I am not a fan of super sweet fragrances. I need that balance. I need it to have a little bit of musk, a little bit of oak, a little bit of oud, something to balance it out, because otherwise it'll give me a bit of a headache. With that being said, even in the 2 minutes that it sat on my arm, I definitely smell more of the lily and less of like that initial sweetness. And as it sets even more of that oak will come through, so it really makes the perfect concoction. And that is the reason why I really enjoy this fragrance, because it is a warm floral fragrance. It's sweet initially, but as it settles on the skin, it does give a little bit more of that fluorescent and that woodsy scent, which I genuinely enjoy. And I've worn this twice already, and the sillage is beautiful. It'll last you probably a good 6 to 8 hours, and I think that is pretty amazing because I'm also one of those girls that don't spray too much fragrance on my body. I'm afraid that it'll give other people a headache, so this is one of the fragrances where I believe 3 to 4 sprays, maybe 5, you should be enough. This isn't one of the ones that you need to spray 20, 30 times as the women do sometimes. No shade, but I think that sometimes we overspray fragrances and it's not really necessary. So this is definitely one of those that a good 3 to 4 sprays, you'll be good, and it does last you long and it smells really good. So definitely sweet at first, but I think the way that it balances itself out at the end is really impressive. I will say that because of the sweetness of this, I might reserve this more so for spring, summer. I think for spring, this will be a perfect fragrance for spring because it is a little bit more on the sweeter side initially. And then summer, of course, you won't be able to get enough of this. Like taking this on vacation, this will be your go-to, your best friend for trips. But I think for now, I'll probably continue to spray it here and there to kind of test it out on my body. But I will definitely reserve this more so for spring, summer when it gets warmer and people can enjoy the fragrance more, just like I can. I do have a few winter fragrances in my collection, so I'm trying to get through those while I have the ability to wear them and not rush to the fragrances that I'll have plenty of time to wear in the upcoming months, you know? So that's my logic behind that. But That being said, the price point on this was pretty reasonable in my opinion for Hermes fragrances. The 1 ounce retails for $108, the 2 ounce retails for $140, and the 3.4 ounce retails for $173. So I think that makes perfect sense, and I definitely think it's worth the price. But that being said, definitely make sure to test this out and let me know your thoughts down below. It is fairly new. It's only going on 4 months now, so definitely a very new fragrance that I think a lot of people may or may not know about yet, but I think the hype will increase and you'll see a lot more reviews and recommendations for this fragrance in the upcoming months. So I want you guys to test it out if you're interested, and let me know your thoughts, because this is a pretty interesting one. It took me by surprise, specifically because Hermes Twilly is one of my least favorite fragrances ever created. I think it is way too fluorescent for me, especially as a younger woman. In my humble opinion, I think it ages you just a little bit. I don't like that fragrance at all whatsoever. So honestly, I haven't really looked at Hermes fragrances after smelling Twilly because I was so turned off. So when I read that this was a warm floral fragrance and the ingredients definitely caught my eye, I was like, okay, let me give Hermes a second chance. So definitely happy to have this in my collection. I think this is really nice for a woman in her upper 20s and beyond. It is very mature, but it smells really nice and sweet and still very feminine. So these are reasons why I enjoy this, and I think that you will too. So definitely check it out and leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure to check out the rest of my channel for other fragrance content, fragrance reviews, just any and everything in that nature. Make sure to subscribe, of course, and I cannot wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye.